Welcome back to NJ.com. Jackie Friedman here, the Star Ledger's boys soccer expert Chris Orlando. We already have had some sectional titles won up in the non-publics, and we'll start with non-public A, which was probably the best game we could have looked for here.
It was absolutely the best matchup you could have asked for. You had number 1 CBA, Christian Brothers, and number 2 Delbarton. It was the opening game on Monday night over at the College of New Jersey, and it lived up to every bit of expectation you could want. Game went into overtime. CBA wins it on a goal by Scotty Thompson, 112 into OT after taking a nice pass from Zach Hicks. They end up going 21-0 this year. Christian Brothers was number 1 for us the entire season. They will finish that way. They are the top team in the top 20 this year in the state of New Jersey. So, I mean, it was just a great game. I mean, you should have been there. It would have been tremendous. It was so many chances in this game, and you know, Delbarton, I think, played maybe one of their best games of the year because they never really let CBA settle into any sort of rhythm, and they had a tough time getting the flow going. But once overtime hit, boom! I mean, Sky Thompson just sort of, he was, you know, he's heading to Virginia next year. He missed all of last year with an ACL injury, and this kid is just he's a presence on the pitch, and that was it. I mean, and they won, and it finishes a glorious season for them, the first undefeated. Untied season under Dan Keene, who's in his 34th year. Want to give some props to Steve Donato, Bobby Cardis, Chris Dorsheim, Nick Holani of CBA. They played great. And Delbarton, obviously, on the other side, to keep a game scoreless and into overtime where they have a chance to win it, you got to give credit to their goalie, Luke Rossi, who did tremendous. Mike Mosier, Matt Clausen, Connor Scheibel. Again, just a great game, played under tremendous weather. You can't ask for more than that.
And then the non-public B game was also an overtime game.
Yeah, I mean, again, you know, when you have two teams who really excel defensively, and you're going to probably get a low-scoring, possibly overtime game, and that's what you got with Montclair Kimberley beating Gill St. Bernard's 1-0. Malcolm Dixon gets credit for the goal. Miles Hackett took a shot with 1:32 left in overtime, and Dixon just got a foot on it and just trickled past the goalie, Mike Renner from Gill, and that gave MKA the victory and their first title since 2006. Great job by this team. MKA plays in the Super Essex Conference, which, as you know, is one of probably the best conferences for soccer in the state. They went 21-2-2 this year. They did not get scored upon the entire state tournament. Their goalie, Matt Lane, and a great defensive back, Dom Leone, were tremendous. 16 shutouts this year for Montclair Kimberley. And again, you can't ask for more. Gill was looking for their second title in 3 years. Did a great job getting here. Coach Tony Bednarski told me last week he was a little bit surprised by this team getting this far, but you know what? Credit to them to playing a great state tournament and getting to the final. And pretty much those 2 games, you can't ask for more than that.
We'll move on to the public groups, which have their finals coming up. We'll take a look at the semifinals that are played this Tuesday. In Group 4, number 4 in our top 20, Cherokee, beat East Brunswick 1-0 to advance to play number 5, Bridgewater, which took down Kearney in PKs. Yeah,
this is going to be a tremendous final. 2 teams who have just, I mean, all season long they've done it, and now they both had, you know, again, when you get to this level and you're playing in the semifinal round of the publics, it just, you have so many great close games, and that's what we had yesterday. I mean, Cherokee got by East Brunswick. East Brunswick hadn't lost this year. They had 1 tie in the Greater Middlesex Conference tournament final. And Cherokee, Mike Ryan, great player, scored the only goal of the game. East Brunswick's only loss of the season. They're out. Bridgewater and Kearney played a tremendous game, went scoreless through 80 minutes of regulation. 2 10-minute overtime periods, had to go to penalty kicks. Nobody really likes that, but what are you going to do? It's the best way of deciding who's going to go on.
Someone's got to win.
Someone has to. Zach Jones had the game winner for Bridgewater. He made a decisive kick. Alex Kamenetsky, tremendous job in goal, had the big save. And that's really what it takes, is one really big save in the penalty kicks. Because when you get to that point, you know, it always favors the shooter. You're always going to favor the shooter. Kearney did great to send the game to penalty kicks. They had a great season, but Bridgewater now is 19-0-1 in their last 20. You know, the game they had was their only non-win in that streak. So it's going to be a tremendous final, I think, and you know, everybody should get their butts down to C&J on Thursday for this one.
Absolutely. And then in Group 3, the other game being played there Thursday, we have Ramapo, which took down Scotch Plains 1-0 against Timber Creek, which beat Princeton 2-0.
Yeah, I'm not going to really go out and say these are surprises since all 4 teams were ranked, but I think, you know, I predicted Scotch Plains and Princeton in the final, and we're going to have the 2 other teams are going to be in there. Ramapo, great job. They only have one loss this year. They're 21-1. Ian Fairsay headed in a corner kick by James Bonavita late in the second half. It was the only goal of the game. Defense did the job, and unfortunately for Scotch Plains, who had a tremendous, great year, was really looking forward to having a chance to win a Group 3 title, their first one since '98. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen. Ramapo goes down. It's going to go down to C&J and play. They're going to play Timber Creek, who is another South Jersey power. They have a loss to their last loss was to Cherokee in the South Jersey Coaches Association tournament. They're doing a great job. They have a player, Giuseppe DeLuca, who is just phenomenal, and him as well as Jeffrey Morgan are like a 1-2 punch for this team. Again, Ramapo, Timber Creek, two teams who I'm sure aren't familiar with each other because you can't get it more north-south than this.
Opposite ends.
Absolutely. But those kind of meetings always give you great matchups, and I think you're going to have a great final. So that again is on Thursday, so look forward to that one.
Shift to Group 2. This and Group 1 are being played Sunday. Bernards beat Newton 1-0, and Holmdel beat Haddonfield 2-1.
Yeah, again, you know what? Bernards and Newton were two teams who I think, not that they came on late, but I mean, maybe I noticed them a little bit later. Again, top 20 teams. Bernards prevails. Again, in these types of games, it's going to take one goal usually to win it. Or they're going to be one-goal games. Johannes Oster had the only goal in the second half for Bernards, knocked out a tough Newton team, and Haddonfield Holmdel beat Haddonfield 2-1. So, again, you're going to have a little bit of a matchup that a lot of people probably didn't see coming beginning of the year. Some people have other teams on the radar. My thinking is with this game, you have Holmdel, who won Group 3 last year. They dropped down to Group 2 this year. Those players that are back have the experience. They have a very talented striker in Zach Bond. I think I would give the nod right now to Holmdel, but I wouldn't put anything past Bernards. They have a great defense, great coaching staff over there. So, again, it should be a very tight game.
And then our final in Group 1.
Yep.
Haddon Township, which beat Point Pleasant Beach 2-1, and Waldwick, which needed PKs against Glen Ridge.
Yeah, and again, with the Waldwick game, what you have is you have a circumstance where a game's going to go into, it's going to go into overtime and in double overtime. Mike Kinney was at this game, and unfortunately, you know how Mike feels about penalty kicks, and I think he did the game justice in print today, and what he said. I thought it was what it takes to get to this point, because both teams played so well defensively and so well, just denying each other opportunities that, it's sad it has to be decided this way, but you know what, to get to that point, it takes a lot of talent to do that. So, and Waldwick did. They won 5-4 over Glen Ridge. Glen Ridge did a great job. They won their first section last year. Another great season this year. I mean, sometimes a team like that gets hidden when they play in that Super Essex Conference because there's so many powerful teams in there. But you know what? Glen Ridge has been on the radar now for 2 straight years, and they're just a well-coached team and did a tremendous job.
We'll give you those quick game times. So Thursday at TCNJ, the Group 4 finals at 5:30. Group 3 is at 8. And Sunday, Group 2 is at 1:30, and Group 1 is at 4.
Yep.
A week from now, we'll have all our champions crowned.
We will know who they are.
It's
Unbelievable.
been a fun season.
Unbelievable.
So,
Can't believe it's almost over.
Yeah, keep coming back to NJ.com and the Star Ledger. We'll keep you posted. He's Chris Orlando. I'm Jackie Friedman. We'll see you next time.